men of color across the nation, across the state, and here at Brockport have faced significant challenges in terms of education in general and higher education specifically. And some of those challenges we've been able to address in positive ways, and others we haven't been as productive in. Do you have any general thoughts about the challenges that relate to men of color in education and what we've been able to do about it thus far?
Well, certainly, we have a responsibility to make a difference, but, before one contemplates making a difference, one has to look at, some of the core issues.
Mm-hmm.
What are the underlying factors? And so certainly we would have to go all the way back, to the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
What is the foundation laid, for men of color? Are they at a competitive disadvantage to begin with? What is the nature of the communities in which they're growing up? What is the nature of the school system they're in? What is the nature of the family structure? What is the support of the broader community? What does the American society in general, what does the society in general, view as, the right infrastructure, for the population in general, but, for men of color in particular? Are there stereotypes that they have to overcome in order to get out of the starting blocks to begin with? So before we start addressing, before we start trying to find a solution, we certainly have to go back and look at some of the underlying causes, the difficulties.
One of the challenges that I experienced was the cultural challenge coming from the Caribbean, from Puerto Rico. Different language, different family structure, different environment altogether. I think that was a challenge for me coming back.
Me, I say biggest challenges just adapting into being so many black people. They sometimes have being the only black person in my class, have people looking at me like I don't belong here.
Right.
Well, personally speaking, like some of the challenges that I see that men of color face is the issue of poverty and being stuck in situations where they want to live a lifestyle where they can't truly afford. See, since I was always young, I always had a job, so like I always had to phone myself to work for it. But unfortunately, too many people within our own society don't have that same mentality. They have the mentality of like, I'm gonna get it now, get it fast, and really less than time and education and stuff like that. Another thing I see that there's a problem with is parenting, like not having a steady household. Like I was fortunate enough to have a mother that was not an abusive alcohol or drugs. She was a Christian lady, grew up in the church, and she was just background moved into us. And she always let us know that with faith, prayer, you can get through a lot and prosper. So I would say that maybe that would be one of the biggest things that men of color are probably facing is the household, the parenting in the household. It's not more or less to say that you need to have a male figure in the household, but just a solid parent in the household. Good.
In my aspect, my mother, she's always telling me that I can. My father's always telling me that I can. I see it as a cliche. I think every parent tells their children you can be whatever you want, but in reality you have to realize that's not true. You see Obama's president now, but not every black person in this world is going to become a president. It's just, it just so happened that he became president. It's possible. We see that, it's possible now, but you can't say you could be anything. Yes, you could be anything, but how many people are going to become president in their lifetime? One every 4 years. So my mother pushed me no matter what. My mother never finished high school. My father went to college for about 1 year.
What you knew to make it through, and then acting in the way that you did to make it through.
My parents were my driving force. My parents and my grandparents. Well, my parents and my grandmother. Because my parents made sure that I didn't really have free time. They always had me doing something. I'd come from school and I'd go off into karate class. I come home from karate class, I do homework, I go to bed. Maybe on the weekend I'd be at Boy Scouts. Sunday was always church. They surrounded me with a lot of positive black role models, a lot of strong men of color.
There are some young men, for whatever reasons, benefits that they may have had, preparation they've had, they make it to a place of higher education. And then they're faced with some different kinds of challenges. And as they try to get out of these new sets of starting blocks, how would you represent those issues?
Well, certainly, one of the things we have to realize is that one size never fits all as far as higher education is concerned. There's the expectation that once a student comes to college, you know, that student, oh, this is a college-age student, this student is college-ready. But there may be some deficiencies that we're ignoring because of the inequity in their foundation that we talk about.
Men of color face so many issues on college campuses across the country. What does it mean that men of color are at the bottom of every demographic as it relates to student success? These may be symptoms of larger issues, and if indeed they are, we are the people that have to take the first step towards making a difference. It's critical that we take this moment in light of all that's happening in the community, in the state, in the nation, and recognize that there's a lot to be done. There are people that with the brains and motivation and perseverance to do it, and in effect, we are those people that can make it happen. We are those people that can make the difference. We are the people that must persevere, and through our own motivation and dedication, reach the goals that we set for ourselves.